Okay, this is Tuesday night, January 19th. We are sending out our free pick for Wednesday, January 20th. As always, I guess we average about 8 or 9 stocks on our member page each night for the following day, but that's just a starting point. There's been days that we'll trade 4 or 5 trades, and none of them will have been on our watch list because gaps up, gaps down, that sort of thing. Sometimes our watch list becomes irrelevant. So it's just our starting point every morning. Keep that in mind. Because when we pick a stock based on end of day data like we're doing here, we don't know how the market's going to open or that individual stock's going to open tomorrow. So for that reason, we find many of our plays due to gaps in the morning that aren't even on our watch list at night, and then also due to intraday activity that we spot, abnormal activity often yields low risk setups for, possibly high profitable trades. So that said, this week, our random pick, again, we pick one at random each week out of all of our ideas, is Spectrum Pharmaceuticals, SPPI. Kind of an interesting setup here. Big gap down back in, when was that, October? And then a long base. You've seen this setup before. Nice pop up last week on pretty strong volume. And last week's high was 532. Today, it had a nice pop again with a high of 529. So now we've got two possible catalysts, and you've seen us call stuff like this before. So if it gets to 530 on Wednesday, that'll be a break of Tuesday's high, which possibly will get it going even more. And then you have that secondary catalyst, 533, which is very close to Tuesday's high. So we'll be looking to buy SPPI if it gets up to 530. We always use tight stops. Hopefully we can find a tight stop based on the intraday action. So we'll use tight stops, but we have a couple potential catalysts here. 530 and 533 are two prices that, if hit, might get this thing moving nicely upwards. Okay, like today's low was 504. I mean, so worst case scenario, we're not going to let it take out today's low, but usually, as you've seen from our videos, our stops are much tighter than that. But as it stands, still in a fairly narrow range here from the past week or so, so we won't let this go too far against us. And as always, you can control your risk additionally by controlling your position size. Okay, so only choose enough, buy enough shares that if your stop gets hit, it's still within your loss tolerance. And one more little kind of bonus idea. Remember Sequinome, our free pick from last week? It's worked its way back up again. So we'll be watching that one too, in addition to about 6 or 7 others I think that we have on our watch list. So 468 would be a break of Tuesday's high. And remember that magic number 472 on Sequinome. It hit 471 here, here, and here. So 472 might really get this thing moving too. Same kind of setup really as Spectrum Pharmaceuticals. So we have a couple catalysts, 468 and 472. So we'll be watching both of those in addition to the others. And as always, we'll follow up tomorrow night to let you know if we traded these, and if so, how we traded them. And we'll talk about any other trades that we take during the session tomorrow as well. Have a great night.